Sir, do I have your permission to declare the convocation open?
Yes, please.
With the permission of the Chancellor, I declare the 6th annual convocation open. Honorable Chancellor, Chief Guest, Sri Sonam Wangchuk, my colleagues, my dear graduates, my students, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 6th annual convocation of Ambedkar University, Delhi. It's an honor and privilege to welcome our Chancellor, the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi, Sri Anil Bejal, to preside over the 6th annual convocation of Ambedkar University, Delhi. I'm really happy to welcome amidst us Sri Sonam Wangchuk, who is the chief guest this morning. Established in 2008 as a University of the Social Sciences and Humanities, AUD is now in its 10th year. Six cohorts of graduates have already passed out. More than 1,800 young people have graduated out of this university already. Another 568 students will graduate in the 6th annual convocation this morning. Altogether, about 2,400 young people will have graduated out of AUD till now. The graduating students who are presented for the award of their degrees this morning will earn their PhD, MPhil, MA, MBA, MDes, BA Honors, and postgraduate diplomas in various fields of studies such as economics, development studies, development practice, psychology, psychotherapy, women's and gender studies, business administration, education, environment and development, early childhood care and education, English, history, sociology, mathematics, Hindi, social design, film studies, literary art, visual art, performance studies, and social sciences and humanities. The university has till now been predominantly focused on postgraduate and research programs. Of the total of 2,400 graduates so far, about 1,800, that adds up to 75%, are from the postgraduate and research programs. Of the total 568 young people who are graduating this morning, the BA Honors programs account for only 161. It's just over 28%. As many as 387 of those graduating this year, more than 68%, are from the master's programs. There are 20 young people graduating out of MPhil and PhD programs this year. Women constitute about 65% of those who are graduating this year. This is consistent with the trend in the past years as well. Out of the 2,400 graduates in all the convocations so far, including this one, 70% are women. AUD operates from 3 campuses now. We are in the process of diversifying into new areas and catering to new target groups. We have started offering a Bachelor of Vocation program at the Karampura campus from the current academic year. We have also started offering an MA program in Law, Politics, and Society at Karampura. MA programs in Global Studies, Urban Studies, Public Health, and Governance and Public Policy, and a program in Social Entrepreneurship, and one hopefully in Disability Studies, are on the anvil for the next academic year. We are also in the process of developing an English language certificate program for aspirants of higher education, particularly students graduating out of the government school systems of Delhi, and a bouquet of continuing professional development programs for school teachers, particularly government school teachers of Delhi. We are in the process of putting together a 4-year integrated BA B.Ed program at our Lodi Road campus. By the time we congregate again for the 7th annual convocation in December 2018, there will be much more to report. In anticipation of that, ladies and gentlemen, once again, I welcome you to the 6th annual convocation of Ambedkar University, Delhi. Thank you, sir.
Sir, I request the deans of the schools to present to you the graduates of the respective programs of their schools, whose names are given in the list and who have been assessed and found qualified for the degree or diploma to which I request they may be admitted.
I request the graduates from the School of Undergraduate Studies to rise and keep standing. Sir, I present to you the graduates of Bachelor of Arts with honors in economics, in English, in history, in mathematics, in psychology, in sociology, in social sciences and humanities, whose names are given in the list and who have been assessed and found qualified for the degree to which I request they may be admitted.
By virtue of the authority vested in me as Chancellor of this university, I admit the students who have been assessed and found qualified for the award of Bachelor of Arts with honors in economics, English, history, mathematics, psychology, sociology, and in social sciences and humanities.
Thank you, sir. I request the graduates to be seated.
I request the graduates from the School of Business, Public Policy and Social Entrepreneurship to rise and keep standing. Sir, I present you the graduate of Master of Business Administration whose names are given in the list, who have been assessed and found qualified for the degree to which I request they may be admitted.
By virtue of the authority vested in me as Chancellor of this university, I admit the students who have been assessed and found qualified for the award of Master of Business Administration.
Thank you, sir. I request the graduates to be seated.
I request the graduates from the School of Culture and Creative Expression to rise and keep standing. Sir, I present to you the graduate of Master of Arts in Visual Art, Literary Art, in Performance Studies, and in Film Studies, whose names are given in the list and who have been assessed and found qualified for the degree, to which I request they may be admitted.
By virtue of the authority vested in me as Chancellor of this university, I admit the students who have been assessed and found qualified for the award of Master of Arts in Visual Art, in Literary Art, in Performance Studies, and in Film Studies.
Thank you, sir. I request the graduates to be seated.
I request the graduates from the School of Design to stand and keep standing.
Sir, I present to you the graduates of Master of Design in Social Design, whose names are given in the list and who have been assessed and found qualified for the degree, to which I request they may be admitted.
By virtue of the authority vested in me as Chancellor of this university, I admit the students who have been assessed and found qualified for the award of Master of Design in Social Design.
Thank you, sir. I request the graduates to be seated.
I request the graduates from the School of Development Studies to rise and keep standing. Sir, I present to you the graduates of Doctor of Philosophy in Development Studies, Postgraduate Diploma in Development Studies, and those of Master of Arts in Development Studies, whose names are given in the list and who have been assessed and found qualified for the degree to which I request they may be admitted.
By virtue of the authority vested in me as Chancellor of this university, I admit the students who have been assessed and found qualified for the award of Doctor of Philosophy in Development Studies, Postgraduate Diploma in Development Studies, and those for Master of Arts in Development Studies.
Thank you, sir. I request the graduates to be seated.
I request the graduates from the School of Education Studies to rise and keep standing. Sir, I present to you the graduates of Postgraduate Diploma in Early Childhood Care in Education, Master of Arts in Early Childhood Care in Education, and Master of Arts in Education, whose names are given in the list and who have been assessed and found qualified for the degrees to which I request they may be admitted.
By virtue of the authority vested in me as Chancellor of this university, I admit the students who have been assessed and found qualified for the award of Postgraduate Diploma in Early Childhood Care and Education, Master of Arts in Early Childhood Care and Education, and Master of Arts in Education.
Thank you, sir. I request the graduates to be seated.
I request the graduates from the School of Human Ecology to rise and keep standing. Sir, I present to you the graduates of Doctor of Philosophy in Human Ecology, Postgraduate Diploma in Environment and Development, and those of Master of Arts in Environment and Development, whose names are given in the list and who have been assessed and found qualified for the degree to which I request they may be admitted.
By virtue of the authority vested in me as Chancellor of this university, I admit the students who have been assessed and found qualified for the award of Philosophy, Diploma in Environment and Development, and those for Master of Arts in Development.
Thank you, sir. I request the graduates to be seated.
I request the graduates from the School of Human Studies to rise and keep standing. Sir, I present to you the graduates of Master of Philosophy in Psychotherapy and Clinical Thinking, in Women's and Gender Studies, in Development Practice, and those of Master of Arts in Psychology, Psychosocial Clinical Studies, and in Gender Studies, whose names are given in the list and who have been assessed and found qualified for the degree to which I request they may be admitted.
By virtue of the authority vested in me as Chancellor of this university, I admit the students who have been assessed and found qualified for the award of Master of Philosophy in Psychotherapy and Clinical Thinking, in Women's and Gender Studies, in Development Practice, and those of Master of Arts in Psychology, Psychosocial Clinical Studies, and in Gender Studies.
Thank you, sir. I request the graduates to be seated.
I request the graduates of the School of Liberal Studies to rise and keep standing. Sir, I present to you the graduates of Doctor of Philosophy in Hindi, Doctor of Philosophy in History, Master of Philosophy in History, and those of Master of Arts in Economics, in English, in History, and in Sociology, whose names are given in the list and who have been assessed and found qualified for the degree to which I request they may be admitted.
By virtue of the authority vested in me as Chancellor of this university, I admit the students who have been assessed and found qualified for the award of Doctor of Philosophy in Hindi, Doctor of Philosophy in History, Master of Philosophy in History, and those of Master of Arts in Economics, in English, in History, and in Sociology.
Thank you, sir. I request the graduates to be seated.
Sir, I request that the graduates whose names are given in the list and who have been assessed and found qualified for the award of various degrees, diplomas of this university may be admitted to the respective degrees, diplomas in absentia.
By virtue of the authority vested in me as Chancellor of this university, I admit the students who have been assessed and found qualified for the award of various diplomas and degrees in absentia.
Thank you, sir.
The chief guest of today's convocation, Sri Sonam Wangchuk, the great innovator and education reformist, the founding directors of Students' Educational Cultural Movement of Ladakh, Vice Chancellor Professor Shyam Menon, Pro-Vice Chancellors, members of the University Court, Board of Management, Secretary Higher Education, Government of National Capital Territory, eminent academics, intellectuals, the faculty of Ambedkar University, friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen, and dear students. It is a gratifying moment for me to speak to you today on the 6th Convocation Day of the University. The university stands tall amongst the institutions of higher learning in Delhi through its innovative approaches and institutional practices. Since its humble beginnings, the university is truly following the ideals of the architect of our constitution, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who said, "Cultivation of mind should be the ultimate aim of human existence." I have learned that from one PG level program with 13 students in 2008 and 9, it is presently running 10 undergraduate, 17 postgraduate, 7 MPhil, and 13 PhD programs in a total of 47 programs through its 12 schools. This growth story is in Ambedkar University has achieved commendable milestones in the last 6 years and can now take pride in having a world-class faculty and highly motivated and inspired students. In this short but tedious journey, the university has grown many-fold. I heartily congratulate all switch it off. Yeah. Especially those who have achieved distinctions for their meritorious and outstanding performances. But I would like you to remember that with this achievement comes immense responsibility on you to lead our nation forward for your contributions to the civil society, to the cause of upliftment of the poor and needy. As Chancellor of the University, it gives me great pride and personal satisfaction to me when I see the manner in which this institution has grown and tried to achieve the real purpose and objective of education, namely producing first-rate citizens for the country. The student-centric approach of the university in its free structure for the less privileged and girl students is indeed laudatory. The uniqueness of the course content and pedagogy adopted in the institution, I am given to understand, are student-friendly and help them master their real life skills. Quality education is the need of the present time, and it is gratifying to note that this university is fully geared to enhance the professional capabilities of the students. In this context, I am happy that Sri Sonam Wangchuk is here today, as he represents the zeal and enthusiasm of a young, passionate mind. He broke free from the outmoded approaches of education and created his own world of knowledge and wisdom. While I appreciate the efforts made, I would like to share my views on where our education is taking us. What is real education? How do we bring our educational institutions in sync with the changing times? How do we increase our experiential learning? How do we better equip our students and the teaching faculty members with real-life skills? I would exhort all the young minds present here today to reflect on classroom learnings, develop a culture of open and constructive exchange of ideas, think critically, and focus on practical application of your learning in real-life situations. One advice that I'd like to give you, young friends, to spend your time on whatever you are passionate about life. If your degree is focused on one particular area, don't let that stop you from moving in other directions. There is a huge marketplace full of opportunities waiting for you. You just have to grab one and that interests you. Every job, every profession, my friends, has its own challenges, risks and rewards. This I say based on my personal experience of multifarious jobs that I was fortunate to have handled in my career, ranging from revenue administration to taxation to aviation to media policy formulation to managing an airline or electronic media, for that matter even hardcore regulatory functions. I'm mentioning this because every job has its own challenges, its own pleasures and its own satisfactions. You may even decide to take a break and consider your options. I would urge you to travel, take on new experiences, and draw upon those when it comes to making the decisions that will shape your future. The amount of business ideas that people pick up from traveling the world is enormous. Equally, if you spot an opportunity early on and are really excited about it, throw yourself into it with everything that you've got. Be ambitious. There probably won't be another time in your life when you have such freedom of opportunity. Grasp it with your hands. If you can't find an opening that fits what you want to do, why not create one yourself? Something that I would like to share with you, my friends, is that education doesn't take place in stuffy classrooms alone and university buildings. It can happen everywhere, every day, to every person. So if you feel like, give yourselves a pause button and take a break. Please go for it. And mind you, what I am saying is nothing new. Jesus, for 40 days and nights in the desert, Buddha, Gandhi, Mother Teresa, the greatest and the wisest, have often stopped and withdrawn from active lives to journey within themselves. The wisdom they garnered there and shared with us has impacted the world. So remember to pause and reflect before you sign on with someone or some organization whose work you don't admire and respect. Who you work for is as important as what you do. In conclusion, I would like to congratulate the outstanding achievers, wish you all the best in your lives, and thank the management to provide this opportunity to me to be able to connect with this wonderful gathering. God bless you all. Thank you.
So with your permission, I wish to introduce the chief guest. Honorable Chancellor, my dear graduates, my colleagues and students, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. In our annual convocation, we usually invite as our chief guest someone who would be a role model for our graduates. In our past convocations, we have invited an academic, a parliamentarian and a public policy actor, a social activist, a poet, and a spiritual leader. This year, we are fortunate that we have with us a guest, a social and educator par excellence, a symbol of ingenuity, creativity, and social enterprise, Sri Sonam Wangchuk. Sri Sonam Wangchuk's achievements are well known. The students' educational and cultural movement of Ladakh, SECMOL, that he established in 1988, soon after he graduated as a mechanical engineer. The Operation New Hope, a collaboration of the government, village communities, and the civil society to bring about reforms in the government school systems that he initiated in the mid-1990s. His unique architectural innovations like the low-cost solar heated buildings, and recently the artificial glaciers that he has christened appropriately as ice stupas that are in the process of bringing about a revolutionary transformation in the desert ecology of Ladakh. Sri Wangchuk's work has been widely recognized and appreciated. He has received innumerable awards and titles. The GQ Man of the Year Award for Social Entrepreneurship for the year 2017, the Rolex Award for Enterprise 2016, the Terra Award 2016 for the world's best earth buildings, the UNESCO Chair for Earth Architecture in 2014, and the Ashoka Fellowship in 2002 are some of these. What is most remarkable about Sri Wangchuk's innovations is their characteristic simplicity. He has the most uncommon ability of working in teams and generating strikingly simple solutions to unknot the most complex of social and ecological problems. The brilliance of his works is in the sheer simplicity of their design. We in AUD aspire that our graduates will go out into the wider world and take initiative to energize at least a part of their lived reality through social enterprise and innovation. In doing this, we hope that they will find Sri Wangchuk's work as a major inspiration. I have great pleasure in inviting Sri Wangchuk to deliver the convocation address this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, Sri Sonam Wangchuk.
Chancellor of the University, Vice Chancellor, and the faculty, and my very, very dear students. It's your day, and I heartily congratulate you all for this great day. Ever since I have met Dr. Menon this autumn and learned more and more about this great university, I've been amazed to see the innovative new disciplines, courses, and approaches. And I really appreciate all that is happening here that are path-breaking and leading for the nation. I also think that this is time that a great country like India should actually lead the world also in the field of education. I find it very sad when I often see people in our country talking about, and worse than that, taking pride in IB and Cambridge and such, whereas we are a nation that has given to the world yoga, vipassana, and all such great thoughts. And on the other hand, we see by now much of what the Western industrial model of education that started some 300 years ago has landed us in. The ecological breakdown, the social fabric breaking down are all obvious for us all to see. And therefore, in these times, it looks like an obvious thing to me that India should be leading rather than following such models. And I hope and would like to see this university leading that trend. Like I was saying, we seem to be following IBs and Cambridges, whereas I see the need that down from the school education to higher education, we lead by, for example, establishing something like the Indian Baccalaureate or the Indus Baccalaureate that leads the rest of the world in a more sane, more compassionate, more caring system of education for the world, and that perhaps will lead to a happier planet than what seems to be happening in the name of education in many places today. More and more of the same things will lead to more and more of the same results. Current education system I believe, was designed some 300 years ago for a different purpose, a time when industrialization was catching up and people thought nature could be conquered, production and consumption is the main end of everything. But now we should perhaps use the same very institution and opportunity to undo those and to lead this planet to a more happier place, even if not wealthier. I feel very honored and happy to be in this university speaking today that celebrates a person like Dr. Ambedkar, who was all about equality. And this is a time when we have to fulfill those dreams. I have always seen a nation as an extension of the concept of a family. And in a family, we take care for each one. The youngest is taken care of by the older one. In a family, you can imagine how it would be if the elder brother or the sister is very well off, rich, but the younger brother or sister doesn't even have enough to eat, doesn't even have enough clothes to cover her or his body. No person in society will respect such an. Similarly, in a nation, I feel it's not a matter of pride, but of shame if some are rich and perhaps richer than those richest in the world, but others are as poor as the poorest in the world. We look at the country, the family, definitely need to family where those who have strength, those who are bigger, older, take as much care for those who are weaker. It will not be equality if in a family the mother gives the milk to all her children, same glass of milk. It will be more about equitable distribution where she gives a little more milk to the one that is malnourished or ill-nourished and hopes for equality to then come rather than making it equal. And therefore, I think it's a great thing that this great country of ours actually practices that by having affirmative action or positive discrimination to support the weaker of the country, the ones who are out of the mainstream, to bring them forth. The 15% that is given to the weaker sections of society or scheduled caste, or the 7.5 that is given to bring forth the scheduled tribes, is one such example. But at the same time, I think that these great provisions that were envisioned by our leaders should be put to the right use. Personally, in Ladakh, we belong to scheduled tribe status, and many of us benefit from this. And those who need definitely must. But those of us, and many of us here today are graduating, and I'm told how this system of affirmative action is made good use in this university. We have a responsibility that we allow weaker ones of the weaker sections to come up also. Personally, I do belong to a scheduled tribe region, but I have not had to take benefits of this. And those who are capable of doing better should therefore let others take the benefit. I think it was a great thing that this country kept such affirmative action, but I feel there should have been a little tweaking of it, or it's time we have now, so that people of these sections of the society who once benefit are then considered equal. They are no longer weaker. They are considered equal, and it's all about equality after all. Once somebody is brought up to equality, then they should either voluntarily, out of self-esteem, self-respect, give up so that others of their communities benefit, or there should be an amendment to say that these special actions are only for one use. After one use, your family, your generation has come out to equal opportunities, and therefore the children of someone who has taken this facility should not, and not just by law, but should not voluntarily take this, because now you're equal. This kind of amendment, I think, is highly needed in this nation. Otherwise, what happens is that we give this facility, but then if those who availed it keep on taking it, and their children, it forms a creamy layer that doesn't let others rise above this, and it defeats the very purpose for which it was promoted. Therefore, if it had this tweaking of one use only, then the others in the community, to the last person, would very soon use and come to equality throughout the nation in a very short time, and thereby soon eliminating the need of such affirmative action. And that, I think, will ensure true equality in today's India. I know it is considered a politically sensitive issue for any government to do away with such actions, but I think if it was tweaked to benefit more of the same downtrodden or left out communities, then there will be all support from these communities also, because they'll stand to gain. It will truly become something to bring them out rather than remain. So I want to propose to the nation that these affirmative actions be made more just, more equitable, so that it reaches very soon the last citizens of the country, rather than taking 70 years and 80 years and 90 years, and we still have this positive discrimination going on for certain groups of, small groups of people. I'm just sharing things that I feel in a heart-to-heart talk with you. I find this university very unusual and very out-of-box thinking, from the courses and approaches down to this scarf instead of a gown. It's all very innovative and creative. And why only the scarf? Even the choice of the one wearing this scarf as a guest. I'm not your usual guest material. I spend half the time in the mountains of nights and in auto rickshaws and in metros doing my own thing. So I consider it as one of your unusual approaches to bring me here today, and I won't disappoint you. I'll be unusual in my address to you, to be sharing just what I feel rather than a very formal speech. You know? That's how I am. Now to the graduating students, you are beginning a new life, and I would very much like to say in support of what the Honorable Chancellor was saying, that learning is not just from institutions. Actually, often, together with learning from institutions, taking a break in life is what makes more dissent within you and make you wiser. I find our country a little strange in that we are so obsessed with classes and examinations and levels and such that we forget the very purpose of why we go through this ritual. 10th grade, it's time for 12th grade. 12th grade, it's time for graduation. Graduation, it's time for postgraduation. There is no break even for a good breath. Whereas, we could do much more by taking back a step and looking at life and understanding the questions and problems in life, and then go further to find solutions. Most of us run for beautiful courses that have beautiful solutions, but without knowing what our problem is and what solution we are seeking for. Therefore, I think our country could do a lot of service to education by doing less rather than more. For example, if we had a system of taking a gap year, it's practiced a little in many countries, but 12th grade and a gap year, so that you get a year to look at what all there is in this world and choose the right thing that matches your aptitude. Observe all the things available and then maybe zero in 10 or so things that you might be interested, and then take a gap year after 12 to go and test it out. Go to the court to experience how law functions. Go to the hospital to experience how medicine functions. Go to an industry to experience how industry, commerce, engineering functions. A month each. And I would say that the government should make it almost mandatory that all such institutions and industries have a facility for young people to experience what it is like, so that the vast, huge youth force of our country gets to choose exactly what matches them, and then there'll be much less waste of human resource. Right now, you would know what happens. We choose something after 12, and then we learn a year or two later that it was not meant for me. You make the choice and then find out why I chose that and that I chose it wrong. That shouldn't be what you should be doing with your life. In fact, I feel, since our country is so obsessed with points and grades and ranks, perhaps universities, and this is why I'm bringing it here. I know you are all past 12th grade, but perhaps the university should give a few points for people who have taken a gap year. Rather, that's when our people may take a gap year to look back at life. So without any resources needed, you could have a extra year, which could be considered a part of the university even, spent at home and visiting places rather than in a campus, so that you make the best choice of the campus that you would like to be. That's when perhaps this problem will be resolved. As we see today, institutions that the nation spends so much money, like the IIT. I don't know what the figure is, but 90% or so don't even take jobs that the institution prepares them for. They become managers, they become administrators, but not what the institutions prepare. By putting in something that doesn't cost anything, this practice of giving young people a year to breathe and check out all that is available in life, you would have more well-matched choices, and people who go into engineering will do this same into those professions and contribute much more. Those who go for art, design, and so on may therefore stick to what they spend precious 3 or 4 years of their lives doing. It's a waste of life to study something that you don't utilize. Of course, people have choices, but if you did your study in the thing that you would want to spend your life doing, it would make so much sense for the most precious resource of the time of your life, and for the physical resources of the institutions of the nation. So therefore, I would say, even those who are graduating today might take a break and work somewhere and gain some experience before you go on for your master. And those in masters may take a break before you go in for what to choose for your specialization. And something that costs nothing but gives us a lot of time to find what we want to make of our lives would be a great resource for this nation. I wouldn't be taking much longer, but I would like you all to truly find out where you can contribute to this nation, because what you do in life is not just for your livelihood, but for solving people's problems. And that's what innovation is about, solving problems rather than becoming entrepreneurs or making money. Those are byproducts. What you earn will be a byproduct, but what the product will be the service that you add to the society in improving lives in this nation and on this planet. Thank you very, very much, and congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that truly inspiring convocation address. Departing from the protocol, I must inform all of you that Mr. Wangchuk and a dedicated team with him is now in the process of putting together a university at Ladakh, in Ladakh. So, I'm sure all of you join me in wishing him and his team all the very best in shaping this university so that there is something for all of us to look up to. Sir, with your permission, I wish to request the graduates to repeat after me the oath pledging their allegiance to the degree conferred on them. I request the graduates to rise and keep standing. My dear graduates, I'm so happy to congratulate you. I promise always and ever, in thought and in deed, with courage and compassion, to strive for justice, equality, and the pursuit of truth, for the well-being of the planet, of my fellow human beings, and all things living. Thank you and congratulations. Please sit. Sir, may I have your permission to declare the convocation closed?
Yes, please.
I request the Chancellor, the Chief Guest, the guests, the university community, and the graduates to stand up for the national anthem.
पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंग विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंग तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तब जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे